Hi, this is Anna. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am trying to make a really quick tutorial on how to make these journals. They're made with junk mail envelope, and they're not going to be exactly the same, but it's the same concept, so we'll be making these. And I'm also going to link them, the video, the flip through, I'm going to link it below so you can also watch the video. So as you can see, I still have two available for sale. So cover, signatures, and decorating the cover, what we're going to need. So here's the list. Let me see if you can see that. Here's the list for the cover, and then hopefully we can do this too. So you need two junk mail envelopes. Envelopes, as you can see, in a shape they're in, it doesn't matter. And then these envelopes, let me put this away. I'm going to trim the paper here till the edge right here, so all the paper that's in a bad shape pretty much. And then I'm going to figure how I want these envelopes to be. So I really want this edge, and so where the envelope opens, to be inside. So this is going to be my inside, so it's either this way or this way, doesn't really matter because they're pretty much the same. So the top, I'm going to trim off the top, and here also, because this is going to be my pocket on both sides. So that's the inside. I'm going to write really quick that this is the inside and this is up, so I know how they go. Next thing, because this is the way it is right here, I need paper. So here's the paper or book pages that I'm going to put inside. So I'm using this type of paper. This isn't a very thick paper pad or regular paper pad. These pages are a little thinner than regular paper pads. I'm just going to pick something that I like. Kind of like this. I'll take this one. So next thing I'm going to do, this paper will be going inside of the envelope pretty much all the way here. So what you can do is either use paper cutter or just trim it. Just hold it like that and trim it. And we're going to do it for both sides. So I'm going to do the same here. That is my top. So this goes in here, and I'm trimming it right at the edge. And for this part, I'm using my adhesive glue. So I am just holding it up. So you don't want to glue the this side of the paper with the pattern, you want to glue underneath. So you're gluing on the envelope, not on the paper. You don't put the glue on the paper because you have to cover just this envelope here and pretty much where the top is. And the rest doesn't really matter. So that's this. So if you covered the paper with glue, then the glue would be right here, and this is what you don't want. The other envelope, same thing. So we are gluing the paper. So the top, where the top is pretty important, and then here on the side, okay. Next thing, we can cover all the stuff. If you have an envelope, if I am being chaotic, I'm apologizing, but I'm losing light, so I'm trying to speed up a little bit. This right here is going to be covered, and this here is also going to be covered, so I'm not worried about that, but you can add some extra touch with book pages or paper. Could do that. So I'm just going to glue this here, and then maybe this here. I don't know how I want it. So this is good enough. So this is all going to be covered in fabric, so you don't worry about this part too much. So here's the inside. So we could cover this a little bit. We could cover it right here. This is good. So now next thing, so here's our top. This is where it opens up. This is where the envelope opens up. And this is where our pockets are going to be, so it's right here. So next thing we need is masking tape, and we are going to, let me see if this shows okay. All right. I'm leaving that much, whatever much it is. That's probably 1/4 of an inch. And I'm taking my masking tape and I'm pretty much gluing the attaching the envelopes So this has to be straight. And the masking tape has to be this isn't straight. I can see it isn't straight. So I'm going to do it one more time. The masking tape shouldn't go over the envelope. So I'm going to fix that. And this is pretty good. And also the other side right here. And we trim it right at the top. So that is our cover. Not yet, but almost. Okay. So at this point, if you want to, you can use some stamps. You can also use, I put it here, round punch. And this is the one that's 1.5 inches. To punch at the top right here, so when you have tags you can actually see them. Doesn't always want to cut it because the envelope is really thin paper here. And here also. This one was better. So I'm going to just stamp a couple things on here. Okay. This is dark brown color. And let's say here, just a little extra something. Next thing, I'm going to be using fabric. So this is my inner cover, and I'm using the fabric on this part here. So I just need to figure which way the pattern goes. It can either go this way or this way. I think I like it this way. So that's how I'm going to be gluing it. For this I'm using the Turbotaki glue, and I need my paintbrush. So I'm covering this whole part here, and you don't have to worry that you will go over or inside of the envelope, because the paper that we were gluing inside of the envelope is preventing that to happen. So we're covering this whole back or front, this whole thing with glue. And see, this doesn't really matter because this is going to be covered. And I wish I could speed it up, but I don't think I can do that. Or I just don't know how to do that. So there it is. That's my top, so that's important. Now I'm going to position my fabric. This fabric, these pieces I actually get at Tuesday Morning. These are almost 10 inches by 10. And I am going with the envelope almost to the very top. So you see almost just a little bit sticking out. And now I'm going to glue the fabric around it. I could also add a little bit here. So I'm just going to go over here and add a little bit of, you can use paper, you can use book pages, whatever works. And just glue it to the envelope. And the sides also. So now this, I am letting this dry because the glue is wet. So a couple hours, if you give it a couple hours, that should be enough. So that is pretty much our cover. We will be covering this later on. First this needs to dry, and that is our cover, and that's the inner cover. And here is beautiful fabric, so when we fold it in half, that's the journal we will be getting. So I'm letting it to dry. And here I have another journal that I already started, and this one has been drying for some time, so it should be good now. As you can see, very similar. So now I'm going to take my sewing machine. I don't know if it's getting dark, so let me turn the light on. Okay, I'm taking my sewing machine and I'm going to sew it around here. This is the problem I'm having every time I have a new thread. So it is what it is. Eventually it will stop. pulling. You can hear that it's pulling. Sorry for that, but it's never gotten that bad. Okay, we managed. Need to fix it so I don't forget. So it's stitched around, as you can see. And now we're going to add fabric here, so this tape isn't showing. So I can use, that's one of these fabrics, I can use this. Let's see. Somewhere around here. Right here. So I'm going to use the same glue. So this is basically to cover this tape, but also make this journal more sturdy. As you can see, it's fabrics on both sides and masking tape on both sides, so it's pretty sturdy. I think this is good enough. And that's it. And this should rest a little bit too, but I don't have time because I want to finish it. So it's just going to be wet, but that's, I think it's okay. So we have the cover. We finished the cover. We used the fabric for cover, inner spine, fabric glue, paintbrush. So basically everything that you needed for the cover that I used is on here. If you want to pause it and write it down. So that's our cover. Next, actually I have to keep it. Next is signatures, paper thread needle, paper cutter, and also piercer. I forgot to add the piercer. And I already pre-selected some paper. I don't have much space here, of course, but I'll try to somehow work here. So I already pre-selected some paper. So for the first page, I'm going to use this paper. I love it. So let's see. It's going to be, the way I measure is I leave a little bit from here, and it's going to be the same here, so it's somewhere right here, same distance. It's right here. So I'm going to cut it, and it's at 9 inches. So that's going to be my height of the journal, 9 inches. Let's see if it works. Which one do I want? This one. It works. Okay, now I fold the journal in half, the cover, and I hold the paper, I go where the middle is, and I bend it. So I know how far I should cut the paper, so it's not sticking out if I don't want it to stick out. So I'm going to bend it, and I can trim it. So this is 8, a little bit over 8. That's my width of the papers that I have to cut for this journal. So that's pretty much my template for the signature, and I go from here. So I have all sorts of things. I have book pages, don't have much space to work here. So let me see if you can see what I'm doing. And this I can fold like that, and I can make a tuck spot here if I want to. So here, this is from Trader Joe's bag, but I thought I'll use it too. And then I have some writing paper. This is perfect. It's right at 8. So this will work. Okay. What else do I have? I have another book page. I have paper bag. So I'm trimming the bottom of the bag, and this goes in here. I have coffee dyed paper. I have some paper pad in here, and this, let's do this one. So this has to be 9 inches, it's fine, and then it is 8 inches wide. So I'm also going to fold it so I don't have to trim the paper. And how do I want it? Maybe like this. So that's that. More writing paper. let's do this one. So it has to be 9 inches. And I also like this paper. I don't really want to trim it, so I measure 8. And I mark it here. And I trimmed some by accident. This actually could be pretty middle, so I'm going to keep it for the middle of the signature. So I need something else here. This is wallpaper. Let's see. This has to be 9, so this is perfect. And then 8 is here. I'm just going to trim it and fold it in half. And this is why I like these journals, because they give so much space to journal. Here, maybe this book page. Very beautiful, isn't it beautiful? Let's see. This has to be 8, so I really don't want to trim it either. But what if I had it like this? And then this, I would need to trim it here a little bit. So that works. And I can have it here. This could be nice for the middle too. So this goes here. This is another blank page. And this works. And I have 3 more pages. Oh, 4, 5. Okay, for this, I just want to have 9 by 8. No flips here. So I can do this. Coffee dyed. I'm going to make a flip with this one. And maybe this. Then let's do this. So this is 9 is right here and 8 is here. Then this is going to be a pocket. Which way is the pattern? I think like this. So I'm going to mark it at 9 for the height, and then 8 low. The closer to the middle you get, you can make little less. Little less. I don't know if this is right. So this will give us pockets here. Here is the paper for the middle that I already wanted and left it for later. And let's see if this is how I like it. I mean the colors. If I like the colors. this. Yeah, this is actually pretty good. I still have one page. This yellowed paper, I just found it in one of those vintage books. Right here, I'm going to add it here. So right at 8, perfect. Okay, so that's the journal. I don't need it now. I'll probably need it later on. So this will make some pretty ephemera. So that's my signature, my cover. That's the journal. Next thing is sewing the signature in. So I'm going to, this is what I'm using for my measurements. I'm cutting this piece of paper right where the journal ends. And I'm folding it in the middle and then a little bit from the top. So it should be the same. And I'm going to mark it so I see it. And let's say that this is the top. So now I have to punch 3 holes right in the middle of the journal, right where it folds. Okay, has to be straight. So it's 1, 2, and 3. It's still a wet. I can tell it's wet, but it should work. But at home, you could definitely wait a little longer for the glue to dry. Here is my thread. And if you want to add something to the threads, then you can keep them longer. So get that ready before you start working on the paper here. So now I am going to see if I like the pages the way they're positioned here. So I'm going to fix them a little bit. Maybe this here, this here. So just like that. That's the way I like it. So next I'm measuring with my measurer. So the holes will match with the cover. Okay, so it's here and here and here. I'm holding it still and I'm punching the holes so they are right on the spine. Okay, I have my thread ready, so I go through the middle and the middle here. Top. Now I need to find all the holes here. And through the bottom. And back through the middle. Let's see. Perfect. Double nut trim. This is done. So let's see our pages, couple flips here and there. I love these for travel journals, and I would take something like this when I travel. And I don't know why, but every time I make these journals and I think of travel, I always think of Italy. So when you purchase these journals, these were made thinking of Italy. If you know, I think it's a nice thought. Oh, beautiful page, isn't it? Here's the wallpaper. I will have a flip through when I finish both of these journals, the other cover that I was working on, and I'll have a flip through. But so we're done with the signatures, we're done with the cover, and now we're decorating the cover. So I wanted to make something like this for the cover. It's a bird. So I need a piece of paper, yes, piece of paper, and I had it somewhere, but now it's gone. Here, I'm going to stamp this bird. So very simple, as you could add more to it, but this is just for the video. So I'm going to stamp the bird. Okay. And I'm going to trim the paper. The ink is still wet, so I have to be careful. I can also ink it around a little bit. And I could use paper, but I want to use fabric for the background. So let's see, how about this one? Very bland. I think this one adds more color. I'm always tempted to use darker colors, but really I don't want to. But this, I'm always tempted to use color, but for these two I really wanted, as you can see, very neutral colors. So I'm going to go with the orange. So here's my bird. here. And here. Let's see. Perfect. I am going to glue it in the middle so it doesn't move when I'm sewing around it. Okay. So this is for my other journal. Actually, I think it wasn't bad. Yes, it's pulling now. Okay. So that's it. Next thing is seam binding. I'm using seam binding, but you can use ribbon or you don't have to do anything, but I am going to do the fixed closure. So I need to see how much I need, how much of the ribbon I need. So I'm just going to tie it. This is pretty good. Okay. This is the one I need. And I'm going to move it a little bit to the center here. So this is going to be glued just like that. So I'm going to glue the seam binding underneath. And I'm using the adhesive for that. And then I'm gluing this part. Still don't want to touch the ink because, you know, it might be still a little wet. So you could add more things to the cover. You could embellish it with flowers or, I don't know, whatever you have available. I think I have little flowers here, but I'm not going to add anything, although it would look pretty with the gemstone. I am not going to add anything because I want it to be pretty much simple. And as I mentioned before, when I was making the other, when I was showing the other journals, I was really aiming for really flat surface, so you could easily put it in a bag. This part here, the fabric, I can glue too. If you don't want it to stick out, you can definitely do that. I really hope this video recorded somewhat okay, because I don't know what I'm doing because my phone is recording and it's above me, so I cannot really see, but I hope you get the idea. And I'm sure all of you have junk mail envelopes, and it's just a shame for them to go to waste if you can make such cool journals with them. There are many different ways to use them for journal covers, but this is one of the ways. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to have a flip through. Of course, you could add extra beads or something to the ribbons. I'm going to have these two journals available for sale, and I'm going to have a flip through as soon as they're available. Here's the other bird. So they're going to be just like that. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you find this video helpful. I hope I wasn't being very chaotic with all of this stuff. Here is the materials that I used. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for everything, really. And I hope you have a wonderful New Year's. See you soon. Bye-bye.